Hello everyone. Today we're going to be creating a weather project spreadsheet, and this one you get to use a little bit of your own creativity, but I'm going to create one. You can use my example, or if you prefer something else that kind of shows the same information, feel free to go right ahead and do so. Um, but you're going to have to use some of the techniques and formulas and things that we used in the past to put this together. So I'm not going to show you exactly how to do all those, but we'll go through the whole process here. So I put the directions right on the spreadsheet for you, what you'll need to include in there. And I'm going to show you an example of what one looks like when it's finished. This one is shorter because I want to fit it all on the screen. So basically, you're going to be creating a spreadsheet that shows every day of February um, and the high temperature and the low temperature for each day and how much snow we received on each of those days. So you do have to actually type in some information, but I collected it for you. So all you have to do is open up the data sheet and you can see all the information will be right there. So probably the first thing you want to do is take a look at what you're going to end up with. So this is an example that I came up with here. And it shows, remember, this is only showing part of the day. Yours is actually going to be longer than this because you have every day of February. I just did a few days here. And it'll show the high temperature, let's say for the first, the high temperature, the low temperature, and how much snow. Now, I made up some of this information before I publish a chart, so don't use this information on your spreadsheet. Make sure you use the information that is on the data that I provide for you. So here is, let's say on the first, the high temperature was 15, the low was 5, there was 1 inch of snow. And then you do the same thing for all these. And then down at the bottom, it's going to ask for you to total the amount of snowfall in inches, the lowest temperature for the entire month, including the highs and lows, whatever it is. It's probably in the lows, but anywhere in there, we're looking for the lowest monthly temperature, the highest monthly temperature, the average temperature for the month, average high temperature of the month, and the average low temperature of the month. And then you'll create a chart that looks like this. Yours could be a bar chart, I suppose, if you wanted to, but I use the line chart because line charts are really good for showing change over time. And the time would be increments of days. So you see here's the February 1st, February 2nd, February 3rd, February 4th going on, and you can just follow the lines to see which direction the temperatures are going. And this one here is showing inches of snow by date. So there's the first, second, the third. So this one could be a bar chart or you could use a line chart. Line chart, like I said, is really good for showing changes in your information over time. So that's what you're going to end up with, something like this. Oh, and don't forget, I also added a picture too. And I'll show you how to add a picture of some kind in there to kind of illustrate what you think of February. Remember, Valentine's Day is in February. You could put a Valentine's Day picture in there, something like that, and make sure you have a title at the top showing us what is the thing that we're looking at right here. So I put February weather right there. So let's take a look at what you're going to start with. So you're going to start with this spreadsheet, and there's a couple of tricks here I can show you how to put the dates in more easily. So the first day of the February is going to be 2/1/2021. Now, when you put in information like that into a spreadsheet, it may try to format it as a date, but if it doesn't, you want to make sure that you're telling it it's a date. So click on the cell, go up to this little 1, 2, 3, and look to see if it set it as a date. And it doesn't look like it did, so I'm going to say that these are dates. Now, it didn't change anything here, but what it allows you to do is to fill in the rest of the dates here. So all you have to do is grab that little square, that's this little blue square, and you're going to go down, wait till you get the little plus sign, and just stay in column A, and we're going to go all the way down, let's say to here, and it fills in all the dates for you. Oh, and look, like I have a couple extra ones down here. It went into March as well. So you can just delete those. Just highlight it and push the delete button on your computer. All right, so the last day of February is the 28th. If it was a leap year, it'd be the 29th. And it already knows that. If it was a leap year, it would have put a 29 down there when I went past 28. So there's all the dates. There's one easy way to do it. The rest of it, you're going to have to go to the temperature chart to find that information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the temperature chart here. And you can see that every day there's a high temperature and a low temperature. And down here at the very bottom, it tells you how much snow there was on that particular day. And if it's zero, you put in zero. It doesn't snow every single day. It looks like it almost did in February. There's a lot of days of snow. So that's all you're going to be doing is putting in that information. So it's over here. Now I know it's going to go behind here when I click on it, but the high was 32, 25, and 0.02. So we got the high was 32 and 25.02, I believe was the number there. I'll pull it back up. Yep, 0.02. So you're going to continue in that manner all the way down here for each date. Put in all your data right here. Then the next thing you'll need to do is you're going to figure out what is the total snowfall in inches. So the word total also means sum as well, doesn't it? So we're going to be using the sum function. So here's the total one right here. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete all these here for you so we can do them together. Okay. And I'll delete this. Okay. So the total snowfall in inches. So all you'd have to do is click on the cell next to the title, total snowfall. And then remember another word for total is sum. So I'm going to click sum. And now you want to highlight whatever you want to add up. So I'm going to want to add up these here. Now yours will go much longer. Yours will be going down towards the bottom. And then once you put that in there, you look in that cell, it puts in sum D3 to D7. So is that right? Sum, there's row column D, and that's D3, there's D7. So that looks right. Just hit return or enter on your keyboard, and it puts that in there. The lowest monthly temperature is going to be using the min function or minimum. So we're going to click on the lowest cell next to the title, and we want to hit minimum, and then you want to highlight all the temperatures you have and just hit enter, and there it shows up 5. So was 5 really the lowest temperature in here? And if you look at them all, yes, 5 was the lowest. The highest one, you're going to be using the max feature, so do the same thing for max. And then for average, you're going to be doing it says the average high temperature. So you're going to be doing the same kind of thing, but using average and just highlight the high temperatures. And it'll fill that information in. And then the same thing for the low temperatures as well. So you do the same thing, average, and then we're going to average all the low temperatures together. And that'll be in there. So here's the highest monthly temperature. So matter of fact, I'll just do this. Max. We'll just do it since it fills it all in. Oh, so there's all of our information right there. Now, in order to make a chart of this information, you're going to be, we're going to need the dates. So we'll start with the date, the high temperature, and the low temperature, and then select all the information underneath it. All right, so you'll have the dates, the highs, and the lows. And then go over to this little button right here, and it says Insert Chart. Just put your mouse over it. It'll tell you what it does. Insert Chart. Hit that, and there it is. There's your temperature chart for the highs and lows, and it shows the months down at the bottom, or the days down at the bottom, and the temperatures. But you think it's a small point, but this actually makes a kind of quality here. high temperatures you'd really associate with the color red, and low temperatures you'd associate with the color blue. And in this case, the high temperatures are blue and the low temperatures are red. But there's an easy fix to that. What you do is you just click right on the line. So this is the high temperature line. And then come over here and choose the color red. And then same thing for this one. So we'll select that one and we're going to change the color to blue. There's a bunch of different blues. We'll make that blue over there. So now we have the high temperatures in red and the low temperatures in blue. The next thing we'll need to do is to put in how many inches of snow fell each day. But the problem you run into is that if you were to start highlighting this, in a row, you would have a chart that would include the temperatures on there. You don't want that. You just want snow. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this, and then holding down the control key. If you have a Mac, it's Command. But you hold down the control key and then highlight these. So you've highlighted the dates here and inches of snow and everything there, all the data underneath it. And then we're going to do the same thing. We'll make a chart, and there's our chart. This one you don't have to change any of the colors unless you want to, but it comes up as blue automatically, which kind of is appropriate for snow, I suppose. So there's your two charts. So how do you insert a picture? Well, I will delete this picture right here, and we'll go just click on one of the cells right here, insert, and then you can say image. And there's two ways. You could put an image inside of the cell, which would be really small. It would just fit inside that little cell. So image over cells. And then if you happen to have an image on your computer, you can use it. But it's easy, just go over to Google image search. And then I just put in February. And you'll see a lot of things come up regarding Valentine's Day. And this is the image that I used before, was this little penguin. And then you just go down here, click insert, and wait. And there's your image, which is way too big. Well, maybe it's not. I guess you could just put it over here to the side if you wanted to. But if you click on it once, you'll get those little square handles. And if you grab the corner one, you can just shrink it down to the size that you want, like that. So there's pretty much what the project will look like when you're done. You have two charts. This will have to have images, not images, functions over here, like min, sum, average. All right, I want to see those in there. You just can't go and look. I know you can go to the chart and look at and find out the smallest numbers, but I want to actually see this, and this has to be correct here. And then you'll have all the data with the highs, lows, temperatures. There's your picture and a title. Well, you let me know if you have any questions, and I'll let you work on this, and I'm going to give you 1 week to complete it. But please let me know if you have any questions, and I'd be happy to help you out. If you want to feel free to use some creativity and change things up, that's perfectly fine too. I have no problem. As long as you end up with all of these elements in there, you can arrange them or decorate them however you would like.